What's up, Maha Gang? It's your girl, Maha the author, and you're listening to Sex Talk at 1 a.m., episode 4. I pray and hope everyone is having a fantastic week. So far, I know we are all locked indoors unless you absolutely have to go out. So we're going to have a little fun tonight. I'm sorry you guys are catching this episode late this week. I have had so much going on. The kids being out is one. I know a lot of us are dealing with that as well, being as the social distancing has been extended to April the 30th, so our kids are at home with us pretty much another month, and maybe even longer. So I know a lot of us have issues with who's still working, who has after school care they have to do while they're working, or child care period that we're going through. So yeah, that was me this week. And me being in the hotel industry is another one. My chain of hotels are still open, and believe it or not, we are between 40 to 50% full. But yeah, people are not staying at home like they're supposed to. But I understand some of us are still working. We have to still work our jobs, and the people that are staying with us are, 9 times out of 10 are workers. Truck drivers, delivering food orders to these grocery stores and these plants and these guys that's working on the road. So yeah, a lot of them are still having to work. So that's what we're for. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Sex Talk at 1 a.m. each and every week. And I just really appreciate the love that I've been getting. So tonight's episode is something I think females don't like talking about or afraid to talk about, or they just probably haven't met the right man to bring it out of them just yet. But anywho, we're going to get into all that right now. So the topic for tonight is going to be period sex. Yeah, you heard me right. We're going to be talking about period sex. Believe it or not, so many females are doing it. There are couples out here that have been doing it for a long time and just, haven't said anything about it because it's their business. It's no one else's business if they decide to partake in some period sex from time to time. You know what I'm saying? And if you didn't know, intimacy could go a long way when period sex is involved. The last 2 episodes I talked about intimacy in certain different ways. So if you haven't listened to those episodes yet, make sure you go back and check them out and see exactly what I mean by that. Like I said, period sex is an important thing, and it could play a long way with intimacy regarding our relationship. So basically, you're saying you and your partner are comfortable with each other. If you're a female, you don't, just want to do that with anybody. You're not going to meet, Tom on the corner of the road one night and your cycle comes on the next day and y'all getting it in. No, you want to be comfortable with that person. You want to make sure that person is, you and that person is on the same level regarding it or that sort of thing. Because if you're not, it's going to cause a whole lot of problems. But yeah. So, Mahazlan, tell people what you think the good and the bad is when it comes to period sex. Well, sis, you're pretty much going to only get the good out of me, but we are going to talk about what some females deem as deal breakers for them. While it's their business, we're going to get into it literally. So one of the things is lubrication. Yeah, lubrication is a big thing. And then with period sex, you're going to have extra lubrication. Me personally, I get wetter than the river. But I'm guessing there are some females who shit be dry and, they may need lube. So period sex is for you, sis. And that's your business. But, like I said, most times women, who get wet naturally or that sort of thing, they don't need lube or hey, if it's people out there that do need it, they sell it in the store, so go grab that. But with period sex, you may not need lube. You know what I'm saying? Your fluids that are coming out is already lubricated for you, so you're good to go. And when you get past the whole blood thing, then y'all gonna have a night full of passion. I'm just telling you. And technically, a normal cycle could last from 5 to 10 days. So if you and your partner sex life is fluent, like mine is, then waiting 10 days will down there kill you. I'm just letting you know. Due to me getting my tubes tied almost 9 years ago, mine only stay on between 1 to 3 days. So I don't usually have to wait the long haul, if I want to actually get it in or that sort of thing. So, to each his own. When you're younger, or, maybe before you get your tubes tied, before you have kids or that sort of thing, or before you're on birth control, then your cycle may stay on that long. It just depends on the person. Another thing people deal with while being on their period is cramping. So cramping is a big thing for females when they are on their cycle. Now, I know you've heard a female say having period sex helps and even stops their cramping, which is true. I hardly cramp anymore, but before my tubes were tied, I did, and I promise you, having sex and actually having an orgasm will cure cramps and headaches. I'm just saying, you catch you a good one and you had a headache before, I promise you it'll be gone quicker than you popping a Midol or a Tylenol or a Motrin. I'm just letting you know. The next thing you want to think about when you think about a period is missingness. Missingness has never been an issue so much for me. Even on a heavy day, putting a towel down and going about your business, if that's what y'all want to do, you know what I'm saying, is okay. And if y'all do get some on the sheets, then I'm pretty sure washing them will get them clean. Unless you let it sit for a long time, then you might have to throw those away or buy new sheets. I'm just saying. And another thing, when couples do partake in period sex, they don't normally, be doing all the different positions. Even though you can, that's your business. You can do any position you want to do. Missionary is normally the best when you are partaking into period sex. Because for one, when you're lying on your back and, you have blood flow, you don't want it, to go everywhere. You don't want it to be, all like that. So, yeah, missionary is one of the best positions that if you are partaking in period sex that you can do. Also, having sex in the shower. If you are one of those ones that, are heavy a lot, you are heavy majority of your days, and, you and your partner can't wait, y'all want to get it in, you can hop in the shower and listen. That's all she wrote. You can wash away any blood flow that is coming rather than, laying down on a towel. It's up to you. That's your business. Now, ladies, are you one of those females whose cycle stays on down near 2 weeks? Then period sex is for you, sis. Now, don't go to thinking my husband said if I fuck on my period, then my shit gonna be on for a few days. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just proven for me, whether it's if you are doing period sex or just masturbating on your own and you're actually coming, you're actually having an orgasm, then you're going to be pushing out all that blood flow much faster, which in all will shorten your cycle. I'm just letting you know. I guess the only bad thing I would say is if you're not on birth control or have your tubes tied, is to practice safe sex and use protection. Because in some instances, you can still get pregnant on your period. You know what I'm saying? The females whose cycle is irregular and, come on twice a month or that sort of thing. When you think that your cycle is off, you know what I'm saying? You'll stop bleeding and you could be ovulating at the same time. So, yeah. The ones that are irregular, make sure you practice safe sex if, you're not with the person you want to be with and, the long haul, because you could get pregnant. And nowadays, I can tell you from different debates and discussions that this topic have strike There are more guys who love having period sex. I'm just letting you know. You're gonna run into the few that, feel some kind of way about it, or, they will rather wait until, their woman is off their cycle, and that's their business. But 9 times out of 10, you're only gonna find a few of those. I'm just letting you know. There's more men out there who wouldn't mind having period sex, especially if it's with someone that they're actually in a relationship with, or that sort of thing. So yeah, all I say is, if you are someone in a relationship and you feel like there is no problem with it, but the other person in your party does have a problem with it, I would just communicate with them and see, what they are comfortable with, or, maybe that last day when it's almost off, or that sort of thing. Communication goes a long way. But, that's just me. So, ladies, if you are horny and you are on your cycle, please don't be afraid to have sex. I promise you, once you try it, you'll never be afraid again. And even if you just came on your cycle and you're a little on the heavy side, you know what I'm saying? You're bleeding heavy, it's like the first 2 days or that sort of thing. Or sex is never out of the equation. I'm just letting you know, or is never out of the equation. For the first day or so, you can give your man head. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I promise you, he won't decline. That will actually turn him on even more, because it's like you're willing to get him off without expecting anything in return. Now, that's just the first few days. Now, hold on, listen. That's just the first few days. Now, when that flow is a little lighter, fellas, ain't nothing wrong with you hitting the flick of the tongue on that click. Hello. I promise you, ladies, you'll come faster than Amazon Prime. I'm just letting you know. But that's it, you guys. All in all, don't let a little period blood deter you from having the orgasm you desperately need and want. Like I said, if you and your partner are comfortable with each other or that sort of thing, don't hesitate to, get it in when you need to get it in, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? All you need to do is lay that towel down or hop in the shower and you'll be good. I promise you, both of you guys will have a good night. But that's the show, you guys. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to my podcast on all platforms. Make sure you leave a review on all platforms as well. Also, go to my Facebook page, Sex Talk at 1 a.m. Make sure you follow me. Leave a review as well. I want to know what everyone thinks of the podcast so far and how you like this episode. If you have any questions or you have any statements you want to add, regarding period sex and your experience with it, you can leave it on my Facebook page, Sex Talk at 1 a.m. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram as well at Sex Talk at 1 a.m. I appreciate you guys tuning in to episode 4, and that's the show. Bye.